Okay, should be live. Let's check the stream. Let's check the stream. Okay, we have it. We have it. Check the audio for a sec. Because audio is kind of important, isn't it? Okay, we're using the correct. Oops. The microphone's getting saturated. I have to not come too close to the microphone. Okay, I'll mute the feedback. Mute the feedback. Yes, we're developing this website called BioniChaos.com. If you haven't checked it out already, please go and do so. And we're happy to receive any feedback. Doesn't have to be positive. Doesn't have to be constructive. We want something constructive. Just here, and yeah, what bot shall we use? Kind of run out the ChatGPT, no, the Copilot. We run out of Copilot tokens. We can use Gemini Code Assist. Some success with it in the past. Yeah, my GitHub Visual Studio Code says that the GitHub Copilot reached the limit for chat messages, and we do not want to upgrade at the moment. Well, first of all, still having Gemini Code Assist, so we can use that. But first, we just want to chat to a voice model. So which voice model would that be? And let's do a quick overview. We'll probably get stuck. We'll use Perplexity for a sec. We'll use Perplexity voice mode. Okay, can you check out BioniChaos.com? It's BioniChaos.com. It's a website we are developing.
BionicChaos.com is an open source platform focused on making biomedical data science accessible through a web-based interface with tools like EEG music generation and heart pattern analysis. It's designed for learning and conceptual exploration rather than heavy research, with no data upload yet, but it's a powerful educational tool right in the browser. If that's your project, it looks like you're creating a great on-ramp for people diving into biomedical data.
Okay, that is the project. That is the project, but it's a bit weird that you're mentioning what it doesn't have, like data upload. Why is it important? Where did you get that information from? And why not focus instead on what it does have?
I understand. And you're right. Focusing on the strengths is key. The information came from a detailed review discussing both the features and limitations. But let's highlight what it does offer. Powerful web-based biomedical tools for learning, low barriers to entry, and an open-source foundation that encourages exploration.
Right, that's right. That sounds better. That sounds better. And if you see the landing page, can you tell me what's your favorite tool on the site? Or you can also get it from the sitemap. There should be a sitemap as well.
Based on the information I found, one standout tool is the EEG music generator. It transforms brainwaves into music directly in the browser, showing the platform's interactive and creative side. There's also a cochlear implant simulator that gives a unique glimpse into hearing science.
So I loaded the EEG to music page. Can you actually describe what it is about and mention what the URL and exact name is?
Sure, the EEG to music page is an interactive tool that converts brainwave data into sound, letting users hear brain rhythms as musical notes. The exact URL wasn't in the results, but it's typically under a user-friendly section, possibly ending with something like EEG music or similar.
Can you actually find the URL? It's bionichaos.com/EEG_music. If you can look it up and fetch the information from the page.
I found the exact URL for the EEG to music tool. It's at bionichaos.com/EEG music. This page lets you visualize EEG data and listen to how brainwaves sound when converted into musical notes.
Can you read the description on the page?
Sure. The description on the page explains that the tool transforms EEG data into both visual and auditory experiences. It lets users explore brainwaves through interactive graphs and music generated from EEG readings. You can select channels, adjust time windows, apply filters, and hear how different sections of the EEG data sound.
Okay, and where's this particular EEG brainwave recordings are coming from?
The EEG brainwave recordings for this tool come from intracranial EEG data provided by NeuroVista, available on the platform ieeg.org. This gives users real-world neural activity to explore through both visual and auditory outputs.
Okay, can you look up any future in describe the future directions, but also can you find if there is a play button on the page? So can just, or do I have to scroll through the EEG turning into music manually? Can you look it up?
Sure, let me check that for you. I'm looking up if there's a play button on the EEG to music page and the future directions mentioned. Please hold on. I found the details for you. The EEG to music page does let you scroll through EEG data manually, but there is indeed an auto volume and auto duration feature that automatically adjusts the sound. There's also mention of future directions, like exploring real-time EEG to music conversion and improving features like volume indicators and more refined control. As for a direct play button, the tool focuses on letting you listen by interacting with the scroll and settings.
Okay, so is that correct? There's no play button at the moment. We'll probably have to add it into future directions. But also, can you explain the different types of controllers on the page? Essentially, we want to see how we improve the controls. There are probably too many, and how we improve the user interface, adding a play button, and things like that. Can you explain?
Sure. On the page, the main controls include a large scroll bar to navigate through EEG data, channel selectors to choose specific brainwave streams, and time window adjustments to zoom in or out. There are filter options to isolate specific frequencies, and auto volume and duration toggles to adjust the sound output automatically. Adding a play button could simplify how users interact with the audio, making it more intuitive.
Okay, so can you generate a list of things that we need to change?
Absolutely. Here's a quick list. First, Add a dedicated play button for easier audio playback. Second, simplify the control panel by grouping related options like filters and volume under collapsible menus. Third, enhance the scroll bar precision for smoother navigation through the EEG data. These changes should make the interface more user-friendly and intuitive.
Okay, now there is another thing about this particular web application, the way it's being designed, the architecture of it. Currently, it's a Flask. It's a Flask web application, so we're actually trying to move it to front end only. The data can be turned into a JSON file or whatever. Yeah.
You're on the right track. Moving the data processing to the front end and converting EEG data into a JSON format can reduce lag and improve performance. This will make the web application more responsive and allow smoother interaction with the controls and audio feedback.
Okay, but generally, can you describe how do we transfer like a Flask application like this into front end JavaScript only?
Sure. Generally, you migrate server-side logic like data processing into JavaScript using libraries like Web Audio API or D3 for visualization. You'd replace Flask endpoints with static JSON files or real-time data streams and handle user interactions directly in the browser, leading to a more dynamic, responsive experience.
Someone is asking, are you AI? Whatever. I think we covered this one before. Well, we are talking to AI. We're currently talking to Perplexity. It's doing a really good job at conversing. I would say much better than, most humans. Let's see. Where were we? Yeah, so we have this BioniChaos.com /EEG music. It's currently a Flask application. We're trying to turn it into a HTML front end only web app. To do that, yeah, the EEG is already JavaScript. No, wait. Where's the data? The data. So currently there's a backend to it, which we are trying to avoid. We don't want the backend. Can we give the whole folder to Can we give a whole folder? What's the main? Okay, we have this app Python file. Do we actually need it? Alright, so the data is published as text, so it is on the page, on the website already. So it should be accessible. It is a text file, but it shouldn't matter. I mean, we can turn it into JSON if absolutely necessary. And let's hear what the Perplexity got to say about it. Okay, so we're currently having the data, the EEG recording, the brain waves in a text file. It's in a static/data folder on the website. Now, yeah, but currently the EEG to music web application is still a Flask application. So how do we go about turning it into standalone JavaScript, ideally single HTML?
To convert it into a standalone JavaScript app, you'd first move all data handling to the browser by loading the EEG text files as JSON using JavaScript. Then replace Flask routes with front-end logic for rendering and controls. You'd handle user interaction, graphing, and sound generation all in the browser using libraries like D3, Tone.js, or Web Audio API, creating a fully client-side, single-page application.
Okay, that sounds good. So using D3, Tone.js, Audio API, that sounds good. But so currently we have the folder for this web application. We have static EG JavaScript. We have the index HTML. We have the app py that's actually accessing the data, processing the data. We have some information. Yeah, so how do we, so can we load it into, so if you sent it to a developer, a JavaScript developer, can you just send them all these files to convert it into front end?
Yes, you can package all the static files, the HTML, JavaScript, and the EEG text data, into a bundle. The developer can then load the data using JavaScript, parse it, and use libraries like Tone.js for audio fully in the browser. That way, no backend like Flask is needed.
Okay, so can you give a summary of the whole thing?
Sure. First, you've got a Flask app serving EEG data and generating music. The goal is to convert it fully to a front-end JavaScript application, loading EEG data in the browser and using tools like Tone.js. This would make it a standalone interactive web tool without needing a server backend.
Okay, now the question is if we can just give it to Gemini Code Assist, give it the whole folder, let it convert it into from a Flask application to JavaScript only. So it's in agent mode at the moment. Agent mode. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so we have this EEG to music conversion. Yeah, that's how it sounds like, by the way. There's currently no play button. We can improve it by miles. But first we need to convert it from a Flask application, which we originally made it into a front end only. So how do we do it? I'm not sure. We did it in the past, so we should know. We have the folder for it. How do we give the folder to we'll try Gemini, Code Assist, Agent Mode, whatever model it's using. Don't really care as long as it's working. Just not sure how to give it files. We give it this app Python. Ah, wait, we can. Wait. App Python. Hey, can you give a summary of what we are trying to do?
You're aiming to transform a Flask-based EEG to music web application into a purely front-end JavaScript tool.
That's right.
This means loading the EEG data directly in the browser, processing it with JavaScript, and using libraries like Tone.js to generate sound, all without relying on a back-end server.
Hey, that's right. We have this, right, so the main thing about it is this EEG file. So how do I select them all for... How do I select them all for... for Gemini to look at? And it's a bit weird. How do we do it? Any idea how do I do it with Gemini Code Assist? Specifically, I'm having trouble selecting multiple files.
You can use Gemini Code Assist to help refactor file handling into front-end JavaScript. It can guide you on how to read multiple files asynchronously in the browser, using File Reader or Fetch for text data. You'll likely want to prompt it for code examples on loading EEG data and turning it into JSON for front-end use.
Okay, and can you generate... So the original data is in a text file. It's currently in a static data folder on the website on a server. So we'll share it with Gemini. Then we have this Python script loading the data. We have an EEG JavaScript doing some EEG processing, basic stuff. That's the one that's turning EEG into music, I think, as well. We have the HTML, and we have an info text file. So I think we need to share all this four with Gemini. So can you generate the prompt for it? And we'll generate them step step by step, one file at a time, starting from the Python code and then the eeg.js. So essentially, yeah, we want to convert all this into a single HTML with all the JavaScript in line.
Sure. Here's a clear summary you can share. We have a Flask-based web app with the following components: a Python backend that loads EEG data from a text file, a JavaScript file that processes the EEG data and turns it into music, an HTML page, and the original EEG text data. The goal is to convert all this into a standalone front-end JavaScript app by embedding the logic directly inside a single HTML file. You can give this overview to the developer, then share each file's code one at a time, starting with the Python code, then the EEG JavaScript, and finally the HTML. That way they can refactor everything step by step into a pure front-end solution.
Okay, so we select the Python code.
Understood. Start by selecting the Python code that handles loading and processing the EEG data. Once we have that, we can outline the next steps to convert it into JavaScript.
Okay, so Gemini code as it should be able to see the Python first, but then it should ask for the rest of the files.
Exactly. You'll feed Gemini the Python code first, and then share the EEG JavaScript and HTML step by step. That way it can convert everything into one standalone front-end HTML with inline JavaScript.
Can you give a quick summary and tell us what problems we might face during this conversion?
Sure. The main steps are, first, converting the Python data loading logic into JavaScript that reads the text file on the client side. Second, ensuring that the EEG signal processing logic from the existing JavaScript is self-contained. And third, combining it all into a single HTML file with inline scripts. Potential problems include handling file reading in the browser, adapting Python numerical operations to JavaScript, and managing performance for large EEG files in pure client-side code.
Okay, we're having a Gemini looking at the code. It's still processing the Python. Hopefully it will ask for the rest of the files as well, because I don't think it can see them at the moment.
That makes sense. The key is sharing each file step by step so Gemini can integrate them. You'll likely face challenges with adapting Python's data parsing and any server-side logic into a fully client-side JavaScript solution. But once all the pieces are there, a unified single-page JavaScript application can handle it all.
The other thing we forgot is that we probably for now want to keep the current thing as is. So it's saying we have the Python code. This Flask application reads EEG data, performs signal processing like filtering and wavelet denoising, and serves the result. To proceed with the converting this into a standalone front-end application, I'll need the corresponding JavaScript and HTML file. Please provide the EEG file next. So provide the EEG file, but yeah, we also need to start a new new project under a new name. So this one's called EEG_music. That one should be called like same thing, but front end only something.
Got it. You'll create a new project called something like EEG Music Frontend and migrate all the processing to JavaScript. You'll need to convert the Python signal filtering logic into JavaScript, handle file loading on the client side, and ensure smooth playback using the Web Audio API. This will give you a fully standalone front-end solution.
Yeah, let's give it to the board.
Sure, here's a quick summary. You're taking a Flask app that loads EEG data, processes it with Python, and outputs music. You're now converting it into a pure front-end solution, using JavaScript for loading the text data, signal processing, and audio generation. The main challenge will be replicating the Python data transformations in JavaScript and ensuring performance is optimized for large datasets.
Okay, well, so I need to look at the index.html and info text.
That sounds good.
First, we have the index.html and info text next. I don't know, can you look up how do I share multiple files with Gemini Code Assist?
To share multiple files with Gemini Code Assist, you can specify them directly in your IDE, such as VS Code. You can use the @ symbol followed by the file or folder name to add it to Gemini's context. This allows you to work with multiple files simultaneously and get code suggestions or explanations across all of them. This method should streamline your workflow and help manage files more efficiently.
Yeah, I don't see that option right now. There's a send feedback, new chat, resume previous chat, edit keyboard shortcuts, privacy setting upgrade to higher daily limits, blah blah blah. At the bottom there is a agent, toggle or no agent, and then there's this one context item, and then there's a tick box for current file, but I don't see selecting a folder or something or dropping more files or anything like that. So that's a bit weird.
It does sound a bit limiting. You might need to check if there's an option in the settings or preferences to enable multiple file support. Alternatively, you could explore using the folder context feature, so the entire project can be referenced at once. That way, you wouldn't have to load each file individually.
Sorry, so say again, where do I find that feature?
You can find that feature in the Gemini Code Assist pane, usually in the activity bar of your IDE, like VS Code. You use the @ symbol to add files or folders to the context. That way, you can include multiple files or the entire folder for it to analyze.
Okay, it seemed to be... Okay, currently we'll just load one file at a time.
Understood. For now, working with one file at a time is fine. Once you've reviewed and tested that, you can gradually include more files or explore the folder context option later when it's available.
Yeah, it currently doesn't have like a context, what's called the context size, the context window size thing. That's not being clear, so it might be like too much information for it or something.
That makes sense. The context size might be limited, so handling one file at a time can help keep things clear and manageable for now.
Yeah, no, we are loading multiple files. We're just loading them while one file at a time.
Exactly. Loading them one at a time is a practical workaround. You can move through each file, get the necessary updates or suggestions, and then proceed to the next. That way you still cover everything step by step.
Okay, we also have the info text for this web application. So it's describing wavelet denoise, discrete wavelet transform, levels. So it has a lot of information, but Gemini will need to understand, the developer will need to understand that this is the previous, this text is for the previous web application. in the new web application, we actually want all the technical details and description of how to use, so on and so forth, to be visible on the same page. So it should be within the same HTML file.
Got it. So the new web application should consolidate all the technical details and usage instructions into one HTML file. This way, everything's visible together on the same page for easier reference and navigation.
Okay, so it got all the, not all the files, it got the app Python, the Python script, the JavaScript, the HTML script, the info text. Wait a sec. To complete the file, please provide the info text. Yeah, can you also draft the prompt for Gemini, telling it that the text is for the Flask application, not the new application that we're building, and also indicate that yeah, we want this text on the page, on the HTML page, at the bottom below the canvas for the web application.
Sure, here's a draft prompt you can use. Gemini, this text is from the previous Flask application, not the new web app we're building. We need all this information placed at the bottom of the HTML page, below the canvas, so it's visible on the same page.
Yeah, one sec, we have to modify. Yeah, if you can generate these prompts as if you're talking to Gemini directly, that will be great.
Understood. Here's how you can phrase it directly. Gemini, this text comes from the old Flask application. We need to include it at the bottom of the HTML page in the new web app, below the canvas. Keep the entire text visible on that same page.
No, the text can be modified, so yeah, because considering the new web application might look slightly different or something, so.
Absolutely. You could add, feel free to modify or adjust the text as needed to match the style and layout of the new web application. This gives Gemini flexibility to fit the content seamlessly. You're welcome. If you need any more help with that or anything else, just let me know.
Yeah, this looks good.
Great to hear. You're all set to proceed. Good luck with your web application.
Okay.
Glad it's helpful. If you need anything else, I'm here.
Hey, can you give a quick summary of what we're doing so far, and how does the web application looks like at the moment? And also, can we actually dive into the details of what, or currently, what do we have as controllers on the current web application?
Sure. Here's a quick summary. So far, you're building a new web application that merges all the technical information and instructions from the previous Flask app onto a single HTML page. The current web app includes an HTML page with a canvas, some JavaScript for interactivity, and a Python backend. As for controls, you likely have user input elements or buttons that interact with the canvas or trigger certain backend processing. You can always refine or add more controls as needed.
Okay, let's see. So it says, so it received the content from the index, the info text. Here's my understanding of the project primary goal. The Flask application will be converted into a simple standalone e.g. music frontend index HTML file. All processing logic from the Python backend will be migrated to client side. File structure, the new directory e.g. to music frontend will be created containing that final index HTML, which it has, and the data subdirectory for the e.g. text file. Backend logic, blah blah blah. The entire replace JavaScript, determining filtering. Okay, wait a sec. Replace the new JavaScript functions that perform the required signal processing, detrending, filtering, wavelet, denoising, PSD calculation. It's the power spectrum density analysis, whatever. Yeah, we'll have to make sure it's actually correct. Therefore, the app by the Python file will not be updated, as it is will become obsolete for this new version, front end refactoring. Yep, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, just with the CSS, maybe we can just start fresh. We didn't have CSS for this one. I think we have a global CSS for the whole website. So I'll share that with you as well, unless you have access. I can just provide the link to it. It's a local file, style CSS for the whole website. So we then we don't mind. We would not be modifying it, but we do need that as a reference, and then we'll have some specific styling for this web application. So can you summarize all that and generate the prompt talking directly to Gemini, who is currently the web developer for this?
Sure. Here's a concise summary and a direct prompt for Gemini. Gemini, we're converting the old Flask app into a standalone HTML frontend. All Python backend logic, like signal processing, detrending, filtering, wavelet denoising, and PSD calculation, will be ported to JavaScript. We'll place the technical details at the bottom of the page below the canvas. Use the global style sheet as a reference, but add specific styling as needed. The Python file will be obsolete, so all logic should now reside client-side. Let's ensure everything fits the new design.
Okay, and now another thing, eventually we do want to, so if we're able to load the file correctly and everything, we do want to get rid of this, of the Flask application and turn it just into the simple JavaScript or whatever. So maybe the HTML, the new index HTML, all self-contained, can go directly into the same folder. So we'll keep the name. We'll just keep the EG_music and not the new application name. And also don't forget to ask me about sharing the link for the CSS file for the whole website. So again, can you update the prompt for Gemini? Talk to Gemini directly.
Absolutely. Here's the updated prompt for Gemini. Gemini, the final goal is to retire the Flask app and have a self-contained, JavaScript-based solution. The new index.html will stay in the same folder as the old Flask app, named EG Music. Once we confirm everything loads correctly, we'll remove the Python backend. Also, I'll provide the link to the global CSS file so you can reference it and add any custom styling for this web app.
Okay, let's see. Would it be able to? Yeah, the style CSS copy. A copy relative path. Okay. A copy path. We need the entire path. Okay, this is the CSS for the whole website, but we are not changing it. Okay, and can you also tell it like a standalone thing about the CSS? So the CSS we currently have is for the entire website, so we don't want the developer to change it, but if there will be missing things in it. So the missing things should go directly into the HTML inline, and the global CSS for the whole website should be a priority.
Got it. Here's the final prompt for Gemini. Gemini, we're using a global CSS file for the whole website, which shouldn't be changed. Any missing styles unique to this app should go inline directly in the HTML. The global CSS has priority, and the final solution should be fully standalone, JavaScript-based, and in the same folder as EG Music.
I don't know if Gemini Code Assist can actually create files and things like that, like Copilot could.
Right now, Gemini can assist with generating full code snippets, file structures, and detailed instructions, similar to Copilot. It won't create physical files on its own, but it can guide you step by step to build exactly what you need.
Okay, so in this case, do we need to create the file first?
Yes, you'll need to create the file manually first. Then Gemini can help generate the content for that HTML file, including all the embedded JavaScript and inline CSS you'll need. That way you have a fully functional, self-contained web application.
Okay, so I created the index HTML under EG underscore music. Can you just tell Gemini about it? Address it directly?
Perfect. Here's how you can address Gemini directly. Gemini, the file index.html is now created under EG Music. Let's start building out the content, referencing the global CSS and adding inline styles as needed. We're replacing the Flask backend logic with JavaScript for all the signal processing.
Okay, can you summarize the whole thing?
Sure. Here's the full summary. We're retiring the Flask app and moving everything client-side with a standalone index.html under the EG Music folder. All backend Python logic is now JavaScript in the browser, with styles from the global CSS and any extras inline. Once confirmed, the Python backend will be removed. You've got the index.html ready, and we'll include the global CSS link soon. Now you can instruct Gemini to generate the full code accordingly.
And can you give an overview of what the website is all about again? BioniChaos.com. Eventually, everything we do is available on the site. So can you repeat that and expand?
Sure. The website, BioniChaos.com, is the central hub for everything related to the band.
No. What are you talking about? It's BioniChaos.com. It's BioniChaos.com. Maybe you can look it up. I thought we did already before, but yeah, look it up. And this web application is already deployed, but we're updating it to front end only and replacing the old Flask application.
BionicChaos.com is an interactive web-based platform for biomedical data science and education. It offers tools like brainwave to music generators, ECG simulators, and interactive visualizations for learning complex concepts, all running directly in a browser. Its focus is on making sophisticated biomedical science more accessible and intuitive, especially for students and educational use.
Hey, can you expand and how is this particular web application is relevant?
BionicChaos.com is a web platform designed for interactive biomedical data science exploration. It's relevant because it simplifies complex biomedical concepts through web-based tools, making it easier to learn and experiment without complex setups. It's perfect for transitioning from a back-end heavy application to a leaner, front-end only web solution, offering interactive learning and visualization directly in the browser.
Okay, so I have Gemini. They generated something. It generated some HTML.
Great.
Generated HTML. Thank you. Here's an understanding of the project. Okay, we have the global style CSS and the final instruction. The goal is clear. Create a single self-contained index HTML. Yeah, the correct folder directory replaces the Flask application. I will now proceed. First I will locate, located, correct loading, thinking, excellent, the data file is located. Okay, so it's located. No, so it can do terminal. So you were wrong before, it can do terminal stuff.
Understood. It sounds like your setup is ready to handle both the front end and the necessary terminal operations. You can now smoothly integrate your global CSS and the newly generated index.html to replace the old Flask app.
Okay, let me see.
Take your time.
Take your time. Yeah, take your time.
Absolutely, no rush. Once you're ready, you can put all the pieces together. The global CSS, the generated HTML.
Okay, so we have the, wait. So we have the index HTML. We have Gemini Code Assist. Hopefully it will shoot when I accept. Okay, so it is. Yep, so it's working as expected.
That's great to hear. It sounds like everything's set up and functioning as intended. Let me know if you need any more assistance along the way.
Okay, but the agent is still doing something else. Let's see, what is it doing? What is it doing?
It sounds like the agent is processing or adjusting something in the background. You might want to check for any ongoing updates or see if there are additional changes being applied to the HTML or the CSS.
Okay, so currently the thing is not deployed. We'll have to test it locally. It should be self-contained, and it's using Plotly latest mean.js, wavelet transform mean.js, and DSP mean.js. Actually had trouble before. Hopefully they actually loading okay. I don't know if they will load okay or not.
Got it. Testing it locally will help confirm if Plotly, Transform, and DSP scripts load properly. Once that's verified, you'll know if everything's self-contained and functioning as expected.
I don't know what the agent is doing, still doing something. But we have the code.
It seems the agent might
I have created a standalone Linux HTML. Yep, the correct one. This single file now contains the necessary HTML, CSS, JavaScript, completely replacing the previous Flask-based backend. The Python signal processing logic for filtering, denoising, and spectral analysis have been migrated to JavaScript using a combination of standard algorithms and external libraries. The UI has also been updated to more responsive and user-friendly. The application is now self-contained. Okay, so we can go ahead and test it, I would imagine.
Exactly. Now that everything's self-contained, you can run it locally in your browser and check if all the interactive elements, scripts, and UI work smoothly. This should give you a clear idea of how the final version will perform once deployed.
Okay, we're having errors. Errors.
Errors happen, especially when migrating complex logic. You can check the browser console for details on which scripts or functions are failing, and adjust the JavaScript or dependencies as needed. Take your time reviewing those errors. Often they're related to script loading order, missing dependencies, or minor syntax issues. With a few tweaks, it should come together nicely.
Yeah, I'm giving the errors to Gemini. Gemini.
It sounds like you're getting errors related to the integration with the Gemini code or scripts. You might want to carefully check the console logs, especially for issues like missing modules.
Okay, so we're having a warning, but it's not warning, it's an error. It's a Plotly latest min.js and Plotly latest JS are no longer the latest release of Plotly JS. Okay, is this some sort of version control? Models not defined, there's some sort of reference error. Loaded and parsed 4,000 data points. Okay, so it's actually loaded the data. So that's good. Why is it an error then? Ah, no, it's not an error. And failed to load or parse EG data type error. With detrending is not a function. Okay, so Gemini is looking into it.
It sounds like the error is coming from a missing or incorrect function definition in the JavaScript. Gemini might be trying to use a function that isn't defined or mismatched from the original Python logic. You might need to double-check that the JavaScript libraries have all the necessary methods.
Okay, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah, everything we do is available on BioniChaos.com. Go check out the website. Provide your feedback. Maybe the bot Perplexity can repeat it for you in a better way, more comprehensive, more encouraging.
Absolutely. Here we go. Everything we do is available on BionicChaos.com. Go check out the website and share your feedback. Your insights will help make it even better.
Yeah, can you expand on it and just give a general overview for the whole website as well, and how this tool is relevant to the whole website topic?
BionicChaos.com is a platform packed with interactive tools for biomedical research and education, focusing on real-time signal processing, visualization, and simulation. It offers tools like an EEG simulator, an advanced audio analyzer, and a gesture-based music generator. Overall, the site integrates AI, web development, and biology, making complex biomedical data accessible and interactive for students, researchers, and curious minds.
And can you look on the front page? There's this real-time signal amplification microscope that uses the webcam to identify your blood flow pulse.
Exactly.
Can you summarize? Can you look it up? Summarize that one and tell what the URL is for.
The real-time signal amplification microscope on BioniChaos.com uses Eulerian video magnification to reveal subtle changes in skin tone caused by blood flow, extracting pulse signals from webcam video. It processes the video in real time, applying filters to remove noise and accurately calculate your heart rate. The direct URL for this tool is https://bionichaos.com/facebloodwebcam.
Okay, and can you describe this tool real quick? This is probably the most successful one we did so far on as part of the BioniChaos project.
Certainly. The real-time signal amplification microscope on the BioniChaos project analyzes subtle skin tone changes from a webcam feed to detect blood flow and calculate your pulse in real time. It uses advanced filtering and amplification techniques, letting users visualize their heartbeat right from their browser without extra equipment.
Right, and how would you validate if it's actually working or not?
You can validate it by comparing the measured pulse against a known accurate device, like a smartwatch or a medical-grade pulse oximeter. You'd run both at the same time and check if the heart rate readings match closely across different conditions.
Can I sometimes get a good signal, and sometimes it's a bit noisy.
That's movement. To improve accuracy, try to keep your face steady, ensure consistent lighting, and compare with a reliable heart rate device for calibration. This helps confirm that the readings are on track.
So a regular smartwatch, what's the error margin for beats per minute? Would it have? Is it like ±1 or ±2, whatever? Should I compare it to like a chest strap or something more accurate? What do you think?
Typically, modern smartwatches have a margin of error of around ±3% in heart rate readings under normal conditions, which is roughly a few beats per minute. However, they can show greater inaccuracies during intense exercise or irregular rhythms. Chest strap monitors are generally more accurate, often within ±1 beat per minute, making them a solid comparison for validation.
Okay, let's check Gemini real quick. So it's replaced the Plotly version. We'll have to accept it because we're not doing any coding ourselves.
That makes sense. The best approach is to validate with a highly accurate reference, like a chest strap, and compare the readings over time. That'll give you a clear picture of how reliable it is.
No, we're back to the... What were we doing before? Do you remember what we were doing before? Because I forgot.
We were talking about the real-time signal amplification microscope from the BioniChaos.
No. We were doing EEG to music conversion.
Ah, I see. We were actually discussing the real-time signal amplification microscope tool as part of the BioniChaos project and comparing its accuracy to smartwatches. There wasn't an EEG to music conversion in that discussion. Are you thinking of a different project or something else you had in mind?
No, okay, we're getting different errors for it. Now we're having trouble loading the data file. We'll give it to Gemini. But yeah, it's a text file. It says model. Some module is not defined. Reference error. So we had this before, but also it failed to load or parse the EEG data, type error. The trend is not a function. Probably had to give Gemini a sample of what the file looks like, so maybe we can prompt Gemini directly, because it feels like it's gonna have trouble. You're right, the previous fixes were insufficient. The new error shows that FFTJS has the same module compatibility problem. And there is a name collision with the dtrend function. Yeah, that kind of comes down to access to updated information. What happened to Perplexity? I thought we're using it as a co-host, but it just dropped out, did it? There's no error message or anything. Just lazy. Well, or wants money or something, I don't know. Gemini Code Assist going strong, but there's no voice model to it. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Let's actually give it to, let's give it to, we'll give it to AI Studio so that we make sure, so we know what model it is. Give it to Gemini 3 Pro. Give it the whole code. Grounding with Google search. I don't know if we need that. I don't know. Oops. Yeah. Just to review the whole code. Yeah, because the Gemini Code Assist, whatever model is using, seems to be going in circles. Okay, can we try to review this code and try to fix the code? I'm getting the following errors at the moment, so maybe we can explain what's going on. Oops. Prompting. And yeah, let's do grounding with Google search so it actually finds the correct libraries and things. Maybe. Okay, so I have a response from Gemini. Let's see if it's actually working. FFT library. Yep. Did trend, perform the trend. Oh, okay. FFT library. I'll remove the external FFT. Embedding. a proven browser native FFT implementation directly into the page script. Okay, so that's actually what we do like. So we have like a wavelet transform JS and a plotly JS, but let's remove the third one, which is good, good. Hey, give me a sec. Okay, so replaced FFT, fix the naming conflict. It's fine that it's able to fix things. Why make mistakes to begin with then? Not sure. It's finished working. Okay, let's clear the console. Wait, let's bring it. Okay, so, ooh, it's actually working. It's actually working. What do you know? The audio is a bit weird. But yeah, we're happy with that. That should be HTML only, standalone. Channel 5, so it's loaded the data. Everything's hunky-dory. It's really nice, really nice. There's still errors. Clear console. Let's reload the page. The wavelet transform failed. Everything else seemed to work really well. Well, let's call it a success. Let's call it success. We don't have play button. Should be able to add the play button. Now which? Wait. What? Gemini just... Yes, we're accessing it both from the AI Studio and the Visual Studio Code. It corrected. Oh, what goes there? Uncode there, blah, blah, blah. Models this. Okay, now we have two versions. So we're having trouble with version control. We'll have a lot of trouble. We will have a lot of trouble. Let's create a copy. Copy, and the new index HTML. Let's take it from, because this one's Gemini 3 Pro, so we should be better in theory. In theory, the previous code was, how long was it? A 974 lines. This one is 800, but that might not mean much. We'll still test it out. And we have a winner. The Code Assist made the better, something better. So let's revert. Move to trash it. Okay, this one. Okay, it's showing the frequency spectrum, the raw denoise DG signal. Can scroll. Yeah, the audio is weird. They're meant to be musical notes. They're meant to be musical notes. They're meant to be musical notes. Okay, let's go back. Gemini. Okay, we'll ask. We'll have Gemini talking to Gemini. No, let's do perplexity. Okay, so I'm also getting the following errors. The musical notes don't sound natural. Originally, we had some library that was playing more like piano notes, and there were like 4 of them. So what can you look up the code, the Python code we shared before? Or it should have been in JavaScript. I don't know. In the Flask application, can you just explain what did we lose in terms of functionality by migrating the Flask application into a vanilla JavaScript? And also address the errors I'm getting below. Okay, it's still agent bound. We have the index HTML selected. I don't know if it lost I don't know what the context. Copilot was showing you the context window as well. How much percent is being used. This one doesn't do it. So I don't know exactly if it still has access to the Flask application code, the Python and the JavaScript. Not sure. We'll see. And we should be also adding the play button. Should be an easy one. But yeah, we might we have like bigger fish to fry the moment. We have more serious problems. We have Gemini working forever. It's not able to finish. Came up with some internal error from the model. But that's amazing that we have anything working at all. Yeah, we lost the functionality for the voice. API error. API error. Okay, we might try it next time. So yes, we were able to convert the Flask application into vanilla JavaScript, supposedly. Well, front end only, still using some libraries. What is it using? A wavelet transform and Plotly. So Plotly is fine. It's for plotting the graphs. That's okay. Wavelet transform. Yeah, I don't know if we needed it to begin with, but we lost. We lost the new ones in the sound. So that's what's the new one doing. And that's what the old one used to do. Yes, so obviously the transfer from Flask application to vanilla HTML was not complete. Yeah, because we were actually mapping piano notes based on the spectrum energy in each band. So that's why I had 4 notes. It's for on a scale matching the energy within the delta, theta, alpha, beta spectrum. But now, obviously, we're not doing it anymore, and we're getting some error messages as well. Wait, is there... The frequency transform seem to be accurate, so the FFT is working. I think it removed the FFT JavaScript library and just used one vanilla. Wrote one by itself, which is what we like. Because if it has access to the thing, wait a sec. Yeah, so the frequency spectrum is correct. Window size, channel selection. So it's loading the data correctly. That's fine. But then do auto volume, auto duration. This. Well, it's. I thought to begin with, I thought it's doing the same sounds for everything, but. it stretching? Oh, it's one of those HTML thingy that keeps stretching the... Why it's happening? Something in the CSS, it's messing up. I think maybe there's a conflict between the global CSS we have for the whole website and the CSS specific for this web application. But yeah, we'll have to look at it next time. Yeah, so you can still use the original one. The original Flask application is still deployed, so you can just use that for now. It's working fine. Just want to try to get rid of the backend when it's not actually necessary. So that's what we were trying to do today. It's a mixed success. Everything we do is on BioniChaos.com. Go check out the website. Let us know what you think, and let us know which bots, or if you're a human and you would like to join our streams, you will be more than welcome. Otherwise, let us know which bots you prefer for voice models. What do you use? I'll see you next time. Bye.